The single most important thing that you can do as a new or newer or existing teacher is to create relationships with your students. Yes, because when you create those relationships, everything else falls into place. I swear, it's crazy how that happens. If you have an attitude of I love these children and I'm going to find the best things about them and bring them out, that will be a way better way to deal with your children than, this kid's driving me crazy. They might drive you crazy. But if you come from, I love this child, then it's just like you have your own children and you're going to do what you can do to help them be, nice people. But before any of the relationships start, it's really important for you to decide as a newer teacher, what experience do you want your students to have in your classroom? Every single teacher that I work with is different. I am different than my sister, who is also a general music teacher, and I am different than any other teacher that I've worked with because I have my backstory, I have my history, I have my experience from life and other jobs and all of that, and I bring that with me, and so do you. You bring all of the background that you have had and what instruments you play and what experiences you've had and where you've traveled and how you grew up, and all of that comes with you. And so with that comes your preferences. And regardless of how your student teaching or your internships went, you have certain preferences about the way you want to run your classroom and the tolerations you have for things like noise and activity and attention and where kids sit. Those are all really important things to figure out. Now, how do you figure all of that out? Let's do a little exercise. It'll just take a few minutes. Now, if you're driving while you're listening to this, do not close your eyes. Or come back to this later, maybe. But we're going to do a little closed eye exercise. Okay? So just take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine the perfect day and the perfect class. You got just the right amount of sleep and you are feeling energized and calm and happy. And now you're in your classroom. And you think about the students that are going to come in and you decide how old they are. They could be the littlest of littles. They could be the middle grades. They could be the older kids. For older kids, for me, it's 5th and 6th grade. Littlest is kindergarten, so that's where I am. But wherever you are, I know teachers who teach in primary schools and upper schools and K to 8 and K to 12. And anyway, your students. Imagine your students. And if you haven't started at your school yet, just imagine the perfect group of kids. And you meet them at the door because you want to create relationship, and you say good morning or good afternoon or hello, and however they come in that you want them to come in, they come in. They enter the room and they do what they're supposed to do, whatever that is. They sit on the floor, they sit on the risers, they have chairs, whatever it is, and they are exactly the way they need to be. If it's chatting quietly, it's chatting quietly. If it's getting out materials, they've done that. If, whatever it is that you've decided and you've trained them to do, then that's what they do. You say hello to them in whatever way you say hello, and you start your class. As they're participating in their class, they are alert and they're interested and they're creative and they're amazing people and they sing like angels or whatever it is that you want them to do. And you are having a good time. You're enjoying this experience. It is joyful. It is loving. You just can't get enough of it. And you can't even believe when you look at the clock and it's just about time to line up and they get ready to go and they line up and they leave the room with a fond farewell and off they go. So that is your perfect class. Your perfect class. Now, if you are very smart, and I know you are going to grab your reflection journal. And if you don't have one, get one. You grab your reflection journal right now before you forget this experience, and you're going to pause this video and you're going to write down exactly what you just were imagining. And I want you to write it down as if it's a real thing and as if it really happened. This is a very powerful exercise if you take it seriously. So write it down as if, oh, I just had the most amazing class I've ever had in my life. Here's what happened. And I want you to write down every detail that you can remember from your imagining. I want you to write down the color and the smell and the feelings and every single detail that you can remember about exactly why it was so amazing and so perfect. Do that and then come back. So you've written your amazing imagining experience, and that is going to be your guidepost. That's going to be your flag that you plant that says, this is how I want it to be. Your flag, your imagining, your experience is going to be different than anybody else's, and it is the perfect one for you. As a newer teacher, finding your voice and finding your way is such an important thing. If you know what it is you want to have happen, then any of the corrections that you need to put in place to help the kids to get there is so amazing and so perfect because you know what you want. Otherwise, it can end up being a lot like chaos. Chaos is not fun. It's not fun for you, it's not fun for the students, and it's not good education. So I'm here to help you be the best educator that you can be. So here's what we do. We start with our vision of what we want, and then we go to work to create it. And that's in the next video.